Okay, so now I'd like to move on to this region called the diencephalon. Again, we're going to be talking about its structure and its function. So just to remind you what we're talking about here, if we go to this area of the brain, if we look at this pink part that's embedded deep within the brain tissue there, we will find that this pink part, if we pull it out, is called the diencephalon. And so this is the region that we're discussing right now. Now, let's move to another view of this. Again, here we're looking at a sagittal cut that way through the brain, and we're looking in on this side. And so what we're going to see here is that the diencephalon is going to be all this region in pink right here. Okay. Now, the diencephalon is divided into three subregions. We've got the epithalamus. Epithalamus is going to be on top here, okay, and it starts here where this red is, so it contains the choroid plexus, and goes here on this back side to where we have the pineal gland. We're going to have the thalamus, which the name is written right here, okay. And it's this central region. And then we've got the hypothalamus, which is this triangle hanging off the front. Okay. Now, remind yourself that this is the front side of the brain and the cerebellum here is at the back. Okay, so hypothalamus is that triangle at the front. Now, something that my students often may ask me is, wait a minute, but I thought this was the third ventricle. Okay, let's keep in mind, third ventricle is the hollow part filled with fluid. Thalamus is going to be the brain tissue surrounding that hollow region. Okay, so the ventricle is the hollow chamber, the thalamus is the brain tissue surrounding it. Okay. All right, as we already mentioned, the epithalamus, it's got two parts to it. One, it's got this choroid plexus, which hopefully you remember produces the cerebrospinal fluid. And then we also have the pineal gland. Okay, so if we're going to our note sheets and we're looking here at what the functions are, okay, so choroid plexus, we're going to put produces cerebrospinal fluid, okay, in the third ventricle. And the pineal gland, it's going to, produces a chemical called, or hormone called melatonin, okay? And this regulates the sleep-wake cycles. Okay, so melatonin is thought to be released, and it helps cause you to go to sleep. Okay, let's remind ourselves the major brain region. Where do we go? Up higher in the notes packet to one of those 6 regions, and hopefully you're putting down the diencephalon. What about the subregion? What is the subregion? Okay, that's one of those 3 regions, either epithalamus, thalamus, or hypothalamus. So the subregion would be epithalamus. Okay, and I'll let you see if you can fill this in for the choroid plexus located in that third ventricle. If we keep going through and we look at some of the other functions here, one of the major functions of the thalamus is it's to receive sensory information. And so all somatic sensations, remind yourself of what somatic is. If you need to go back to chapter 12, do that. But all somatic sensations go first to the thalamus, and the thalamus is really going to act as a type of filter. Okay. So what that means is and you may have experienced this, sometimes if you're really intent on a project, you may filter out a lot of sensations. You may filter out the noise on the street. You may filter out a TV in the next room, those sorts of things. So that means we're not letting those sensations get up to our consciousness. Okay. And it's the thalamus that does that. It's this sensory filter. Most of the time you're probably not aware of the feel of the clothes on your skin. Well, that's the thalamus. It filters that out. It puts that to the background. So really, the thalamus is important in helping us to focus on certain sensations and not others. Then the hypothalamus, there's actually going to be two main parts that I want you to know. It has a number of functions, and these are all of the functions listed for the hypothalamus. There's two main parts that I want you to know. There's the pituitary gland, and then there's the mammillary bodies. Okay, and so if we look here at our image of the diencephalon, remember this here is the hypothalamus. And this thing hanging off, remember this is the front side, is the pituitary gland. Now, I can't tell you how many students I have that mix up pituitary gland, okay, which is on the anterior front side, with the pineal gland, which is on the posterior side. Okay, so keep in mind, pituitary hangs off the hypothalamus, and it is on the anterior side. What does it do? Pituitary gland releases a large number of the hormones in your body, and these are usually or often regulating hormones. So it's really important. The hypothalamus is kind of the link between the nervous system and the endocrine system, which is releasing these hormones. And so this is where that major link, you can think about it, both sense things and coordinate a response. They do so in different ways for different reasons, but we want them to be coordinated. We want them to work hand in hand. And so it's the hypothalamus that helps that to happen. Okay. And so you can read through these different things as you learn about the different parts of the diencephalon. Again, here's some of the parts, link them up to functions, and then learn to separate which part, which function belongs in each of these three subregions.